Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tyra from Trendy Med Tyra. If you're new here, welcome. This is my platform for women of color interested in pursuing medicine. So my last video was on the MCAT retake. I'm glad you guys hopefully found that helpful. And this video I want to focus on different opportunities you can be doing, like I guess extracurriculars you can be doing during the pandemic, the panorama, etc., all that stuff. So a quick update on what I'm doing. Maybe you can get some ideas, I guess. So I'm still getting my CNA certification currently. That's gonna be over hopefully within this month, and then I get certified. I started working as an MA at a private practice. And they were willing to train, so I'm super grateful for that. Really love it, love talking to patients, so awesome. What else have I been doing? Oh, I'm also a volunteer at the vaccination sites, and I was very adamant about getting placed in a community that's predominantly in minorities, so getting that information out there, like regarding the vaccines and the different options, like between Pfizer and Moderna, so that they felt like, you know, they were making informed decisions about their health, because we want this pandemic to be over. Yeah, so I was doing that at my local I guess recreation center. That's what they were doing it, and it's predominantly black and brown people, so yeah. Next, what else have I been doing? I've been volunteering online as a tutor. It was really important for me to do something like that was safe, and you know, virtual opportunities are contactless, so I was up to doing that when, like, I think the pandemic first hit. I was wondering, like, as a side thing in the back of my head, like, what am I gonna be doing? I have all this time. So yeah, that's one thing. I just got back from a trip and I traveled responsibly, wear your mask, all that, and I'm also vaccinated, so cool. All right, next thing, let's just move right into it. I'm gonna be looking at my computer, my laptop. So I think it's on the AAMC website. There was a link for ideas for pre-health students, these different opportunities that they can be doing during the pandemic, and I think it's through the NAAHP. They created the list, and so you have different options. You can volunteer locally, volunteer virtually, and you can also take time, like pandemic or not, you should be focusing on your self-care, because that's super important. So they had like self-care tips. They had different learning opportunities. You can learn about pandemics. You can learn how to be an anti-racist and champion that, I mean an ally, because that's super important. And also the structural inequalities woven into medicine. I highly recommend the book Medical Apartheid by, I think it's Harriet Washington. I'll put that in the description. It's such an amazing read. It's kind of like when you first read it, like the first couple of pages, like I was already upset, but it really opened my eyes about like how we wouldn't have these different advancements in science without people, without previous like enslaved people. So yeah, especially in gynecology. Yeah, so if you didn't know that, get into that, educate yourself, inform yourself. That's super important. And I also spent time watching on YouTube the American Medical Association prioritizing equity. That series was super important. I really found that informative, and it focused on different marginalized groups within medicine and their experiences. And what else have I been watching? I mean, Netflix also has really great documentaries, not necessarily for medicine, but just about racism. So yeah. Next thing, let's like on a lighter note. Okay, so obviously you can be educating yourself through these different learning opportunities. I think most people are probably transitioning back into in-person, or they're still virtual, whatever that could be. Just like reading listening to a podcast, reading a book, that doesn't hurt. It can take your mind off things. It can really help you reflect. So yeah, I highly recommend doing that. So what else is there? So you can read, virtual shadowing. I definitely did that through med school headquarters. I think I'm up to like 10 or 15 hours. I would like to be more consistent with doing that. So they have different physicians every week, and you basically just like you sign up for it, and at the end you'll get a certificate that you were present for these videos, and like there's like a quiz at the end, like 5 questions based on the hour-long interaction with that physician. There's like different case studies, and they talk about their specialty, the route, how they got into it, etc. So they talk about that, and I think it's interesting because you know you wouldn't have ever known. Like I think when you're first shadowing, at least in my case, I wanted to shadow physicians that were in a specialty I was probably interested in. So there's that kind of that there's one route, or there's a route where you just want to get into like you'll shadow anyone just for like the experience, because you know if you're coming from a family who doesn't come from like a family of physicians, if that makes sense, or as someone who's not in medicine, it can be hard to find a doctor to shadow. So you can start with asking your primary care doctor, if you have one, if you can shadow them for the day, or shadow with their colleagues or something like that. Yeah, so that's one option. But yeah, back to what I was saying, like usually like you get to choose like who you want to shadow. This is kind of organized like a weekly basis, like who's coming to talk about their specialty. So I wouldn't have known much about rheumatology or cardiology, or a really cool one was this aerospace physician. That was like really interesting. I would go back to that. But yeah, there's like these different specialties that you wouldn't really know until I guess in like your 3rd year of your rotations, your clinical rotations. So it was nice to see that mix. Okay, so next thing, what else have there been? So let's think about it like this. So you need volunteering, clinical or non-clinical. So non-clinical could just be volunteering at your local food bank, or because like there are a lot of people who are in need right now, especially during this time. Volunteering for that. Volunteering for maybe like a senior citizen group. I think most of them are getting vaccinated, but a lot of them, it seems, I can't speak for all of them, they're still a little bit hesitant about like going out, of course, so they still want to be safe. So you can do different things from them. I think there's one on this pre-health list of like how you can help senior citizens with like groceries and like taking them to appointments, taking them to vaccination sites. And then clinical volunteering would be like going to a vaccination site, helping out, spreading information about the different vaccines, and that's like one option. Or I don't know if hospitals are letting volunteers back. I think if you were originally a volunteer within that organization, then they will bring you back with like a protocol, of course. But just double check that your local hospital, if they are accepting volunteers now. That's like I think the best way to get clinical volunteering. And what else? You can be tutoring, non-clinical. You can tutor, I guess, at your undergrad if that's an option. I think Upchieve, Gapbuster, Reading Partners are all virtual volunteering organizations that I recommend. And what else can you be doing? Doing things that you actually enjoy, because it's not always going to be about this application. So if you have a hobby, you like to read, you like to do some artsy stuff, you like YouTube, do that. It makes you look like a wholesome person. So yeah. What else? I feel like I'm all over the place. Yeah, but I think that's like the key volunteering things, like clinical, non-clinical stuff. Oh, jobs, like I recommend that you check, I think it's Indeed or LinkedIn. Just go online and see what the requirements are for like a medical scribe or a CNA. CNA, most of them you have to be certified. So look into different programs that are probably online, or a summer program where you can get certified and start working part-time, if that's an option for you with your schedule. And same thing for MA. Sometimes companies are willing to train you, but they do require a time commitment. Yeah, so I would think about that, or just get like a regular job. You know, sometimes you just can't get these clinical related jobs. Work in retail, work wherever you can. It's an income. You can talk about that. If you need to work for your family or work for yourself, do that. That's important as well. I think that's it. I don't want to make this video too long, and I think it's getting up there. So yeah, drop a comment. Let's make this engaging and helpful. Drop a comment of what you're doing and what you recommend, different companies, like scribe companies that you recommend or not, or different local opportunities for volunteering. So let's just give each other different ideas. I'm gonna link this resource down below. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, guys. Sorry it was all over the place. Yeah, so I'll see you next time. Bye.